When you hear so many different ideas about good health, how do you separate the myths from the facts? Welcome to Healthy View Radio with your trio of co-hosts, Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus. Today, you'll learn what it takes to be healthy and happy within a stressful world from three experts walking their talk. Here is Lisa, Andrea, and Michelle.
Hello, all of you fabulous people. Thank you so much for showing up for another dose of Healthy View Radio with me, Andrea Beeman, and my co-hosts, Michelle Fennighaus and Lisa Lutan. And Lisa is actually out playing hooky today. She told us that it's her 30th wedding anniversary and they are planning some special time in a bubbly hot tub in Vermont or something like that. Michelle, where did she actually say she was going?
Yeah, it might have been Vermont. I don't know, but she said they had like the whole car packed with champagne. They were going in for the long haul.
Well, after 30 years, champagne helps. It does. So,
30 minutes.
Yeah, so, 30 years is a long, long time. So I would put Lisa and her hubby in rockstar marriage category because some folks can't even last 30 days, let alone 30 years. Like, I may be dating myself, but do you remember Greg Allman and Cher?
No.
Oh, gosh, you're so young.
I know who Cher is.
She married Greg Allman. It was 9 days. And of course, there was Elvis's daughter. Remember, she married Nicolas Cage. And I think that was like 3 months or something like that. So we have these whole slew of celebrities that get married for very short periods of time. And then we have our Lisa and her honey bunny, and they are 30 years. So, they go into rock star category, which is, by the way, the theme of our show today is not marriage, of course, but rock stars. And specifically rock stars of health. Now, these are the folks that have had some star-like quality, or they exploded onto the scene with something awesome for the masses, or they had an impact on the health and wellness world in some way. And I'm sure you guys and gals listening to us right now know someone like this. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear. So for those of you that are joining us live on Facebook at healthyviewradio.com, I want you to put your rock star of health into the live feed because we'd like to see who in the health and wellness industry has had this impact on you. And we want to talk about them. So we're going to engage you guys and gals today. Okay, so put that into the live feed and we'll talk about that. And also, before we get rocking and rolling, I'd like to shout out to our sponsors. Now, for those of you that listen to our show, I'm sure by now you figured out that the sponsors we have on our show are actually products that we use. So, for example, Lisa, because she's not here today, I get to talk about her. That girl loves Atrantil. And if Lisa goes to a party and eats something that is outside of her normal stuff that she eats, she blows up like the Hindenburg. And yes, that's right. And for those of you that are too young to get that reference, you can Google it. The only thing that saves Lisa from literally exploding is her Atrantil. She carries it with her everywhere because it brings her bloating and gas down. And you can find out more about Atrantil at lovemytummy.com/HVR. We also have another sponsor that both Lisa and I use, and I think Michelle may be using it too now. It's Zoller's supplements. And Lisa uses the vitamin D3 to keep her healthy in the winter. And I use the Paragard formula with my clients when they want to do cleanses. And it works like a charm to help clear out any of those little nasties that are living in your digestive system. And we're actually going to talk more about that on our cleanse show, which is coming up in January. So mark your calendars. That's going to be a good one. We're going to be clearing out the bowels.
Something to look forward to in the new year, you guys.
Yeah, you get some nice poops going. So the link for Zoller is zollerd3.com. And for any of the links that we talk about, the links to our sponsors and the products that we love and use, you can go to healthyviewradio.com and we'll have all of those links as well as the discounts that we give to you, our wonderful Rockstar listeners. We give you guys in the show notes. So now it's Rockstar time. Michelle, who would you consider a rock star in the health and wellness industry or someone that has inspired you?
Well, when we started talking about this topic, I knew immediately who I needed to bring up because my life completely changed with a sinus infection and a PBS cooking show. In a feverish state, kind of half in, half out of consciousness, I just turned on the TV. This must have been about 15 years ago. And Christina Piorello, am I saying her name correctly?
Christina
Piorello was cooking with miso, which I had never heard of before, never would have given a crap about if I had heard of it. But she said something that just caught my eye. She said something about the digestion, and she said something about not eating dairy because that had to do with mucus in the body. And I was like, mucus? Did someone say mucus? And I was sitting in this pile of tissues. I had just missed a week or two of work. And so I took notice. And that was like the first taste that I had of anything. So it turned out she's this big macrobiotic gal. And I know that you have a macrobiotic, beginning to your story too, Andrea.
Yes, I actually do have a macrobiotic beginning, and I love Christina. And we're actually going to have her on in the show, I think in February.
Yeah.
And she is a rock star. She's a rock star. And when I was learning macrobiotics, everybody in macrobiotics was, okay, you cut they're very serious, right? You got to cut it on this angle, and you had to do it by the light of the full moon, and you had to stir the gamasho a certain way, and everything was so serious, because you're dealing with people that are dying, right? And she would come out and she'd be like, stir the gamasho any way you want to do it, and throw this into the pan and just put it in, and here's some oil, and everybody was like, yay, Christina!
Yeah, she had some good, way about her. It was a show that you wanted to watch, whether you care about macrobiotics or healthy living or not. And I think that's so important because it's easy to tune out the dry, nutrition facts, whether it's about macrobiotics or about anything. And her personality really made it come alive for me, but it sounds like, not just for me, for lots of people.
Oh my God, everybody loves her. So she goes in the rock star category for sure. And her teacher actually goes into the rock star category too. And that is Michio Kushi. And I'll tell you a funny story. My gosh, he was so much fun. And I first met him. My mom was sick years and years ago. She had cancer, and I met Michio and the staff over there. And when I got sick, I was like, okay, I'm doing food. That's what I'm doing. And I started to heal my condition, and my thyroid healed. And I was like, holy crap, I love this. I got to teach everybody. So I went and I studied up at the Kushi Institute, and Michio was the teacher, one of the teachers. And I had so many questions. And he came into the room one day, and we were talking about like visual diagnosis and organ and meridian diagnosis and all this stuff. And at the time when I was studying, this was almost 20 years ago, flax oil was big in the market and in the health and wellness industry. Flax was huge. And Michio, I said, tell me about flax oil. And he goes, no flax oil. And I'm like, no, just, can I eat flax oil? It's really healthy, right? And he goes, no flax oil. And I'm like, why? It's omega-3s. It's got this, it's got that. It's supposed to be really, really good. And he goes, what's your Chinese astrological sign? And I said, monkey. And he goes, makes perfect sense. I said, what? He goes, my astrological sign is tiger. He goes, I am the old tiger sleeping under the tree, and you are the monkey throwing coconuts on my head.
Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, but he was a rock star. Like, he just, nothing fazed him. He just continued with what he was doing, and he did it with like this grace and wisdom. And it's interesting because people say to me, oh, well, how good is macrobiotics? Michio died of cancer. Listen, when we're talking about rock stars, we're talking about people that bring something to the game that is game changing, right? Life changing. And that's what this is, this is what a rock star is about. It doesn't mean that you're going to live forever. And if you look at the rock stars, by the way,
not a great track record there.
Not a great track. They come in, they burn high, and then whoop, they're done. So who else you got?
Well, before we leave macrobiotics, I don't want to beat that horse too long, but there was another one. Jessica Porter wrote a book, an unassuming paperback called The Hip Chick's Guide to Macrobiotics, which I picked up at the library one day. This was soon following the sinus infection. This was one of my first steps into let me learn more about this. And it sounded kind of, like a silly little title, Hip Chick's Guide to whatever. But I read that I remember reading it on the train. I lived in Boston, and I read it all the way from Copley Square all the way out to Davis on the Red Line. And it had me riveted. Again, she's hilarious. And the way she explained things that I remember there's a passage in the book talking about grounding, getting your feet out there onto the soil, onto the grass, bare feet. And that sounded crazy to me, but she made me think, oh yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, I agree. And she, I think it was the Hip Chick's Guide to Macrobiotics, right? It was real simple.
Yeah.
And good, this is great stuff. And then of course, not in the food world, one of the biggest rock stars for me was also Louise Hay.
Mm-hmm.
Wool, when she came up into the world, I mean, her book, You Can Heal Your Life, I read it and I was like, oh my God, I can love myself. What? I can, I'm allowed to love myself really deeply like this. It was a total mind shift for me. And I admired her so much. And when I went to see her live, she just died this year. She's 93 or something like that. I went to see her live and, she gets onto the stage. She was at the time 80 years old. And she gets onto the stage and she goes, I told my staff that, I just turned 80. She goes, I told my staff that this is going to be my best decade ever. And she rocked it, man. She rocked her 80s. Holy crap. She was still touring all over the world and sharing her knowledge with everyone. And this, this wisdom to love yourself and the positive thinking and affirmations and all that stuff. And she came up in the world in the 80s when we had that whole AIDS crisis. We still have it, of course, but we had the AIDS crisis where nobody would go near the gay people, right? They were ousted from every community because they had this HIV, which was highly contagious. You can't touch them. You can't talk to them. And she went right into that community and she went and she loved them. Wow.
Yeah.
I
didn't know that about her.
That
was a scary time.
Yes,
People
it was.
didn't know what the heck was going on.
Listen, even doctors didn't even want to go near the AIDS patients.
Yeah, she got in there. Wow, she had such a profound effect on so many people. I know when she passed away, you were one of the people posting a photo of yourself, with her when you had met her at some event.
Yeah, at her event.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been so influential. I'm trying to think who else, getting off of the nutrition topic. I was thinking mostly about food peeps.
Food peeps.
And one that I was thinking of, okay, here's one who inspired me in a big way. And I don't follow her. I'm not a loyal follower, but I don't know if all of our listeners are familiar with Sally Fallon.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Sally Fallon, that girl got me to eat butter. Be thankful. And, you think you know everything sometimes when you think you're a healthy eater or athletes who think they know everything because, they know how to get their bodies in shape for their marathon or whatever. I thought I knew everything because I had at that point been pretty immersed in, the macrobiotic stuff and then vegan stuff. And I was pretty set. I got this. Okay. I got it. I know what it is to be healthy. And when I first heard Sally Fallon speak, and she talked about putting half a stick of butter into her oatmeal in the morning. First of all, I almost passed out at the sheer thought of that. But it opened my eyes to this whole other way of approaching food. And I think the really interesting thing about nutrition is that there are so many opposing views, highly, highly opposing views. And I didn't realize that. I thought I was getting the A+ and I was just going to go up from there. And then suddenly I was in a whole different college curriculum.
Oh yeah. Butter makes the world a better place.
Sure does. I got to tell you, I started doing that and I liked food again.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. I liked my food again. I wasn't just being this very stoic, you kind of described about macrobiotics, chopping things very certain way and being very serious about food. It was kind of like that eating your plain brown rice feels that way. Well, it's good for me.
Right. And you ground
butter in there. Now we're talking.
Changes the game. So we have some people posting on Facebook because we're doing this live and we wanted to hear from you who your rock stars are. And Frances, I love you, honey. She says, Andrea, you're my rock star. Franny, you're my rock star too, because you're still listening, right? You're still listening. Even if you don't do all this stuff, right? You do a lot of it. So you guys and gals are all rock stars, all of you. And who else you got over there?
Well, that's a really good point, because the other thing I was thinking of about this whole rock stars of health business is like, yes, we have our gurus, we have our Anne-Marie Colbins, we have our, the people who have paved the way in the natural food world. But in my life, it's like my client who not only changes her diet, but has the guts to quit her job and go after what she really wants to do and make a bigger impact in the world. Like, whoa, like she's a rock star.
Yeah, I agree.
The people who are like kind of on the ground, not just talking and writing books and, playing that guru role, but those who are kind of in the midst of it and making changes despite a climate, a culture that doesn't really support them.
Yeah.
That's the amazing stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, your clients are blessed to have you, Michelle. So you're a rock star too, for gosh sakes.
Oh, you're damn right. That's what I kept thinking about, right? Like, aren't those the people who inspire you day in and day out? The ones who are saying to their husband who doesn't want to change, or their family who's not supportive of them, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it for me. Watch me.
Yeah. Watch me go, watch me grow, watch me expand, watch me become fabulous, right? Watch me do all this stuff. And that's part of that rock star quality, right? And not just someone who's up on the stage, like you said, but it could be your clients, it could be your children, it could be anyone that is at that rock star category. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm wondering why, A-Rod, we only have 3 minutes down. Do you see that? It hasn't moved in like 3 minutes. I'm waiting for the 2 minute. There you go. Thanks, A-Rod. I'm like, where the hell is that little mark? So I know when to put it up. Yeah. So, I mean, we got a lot of people like that in our world, people that and meet on a daily basis, people that you work with, they're all rock stars. They're all rock stars. If they're alive, right, they're still shining their little light, then they're rock stars. So you got one more? A quickie?
Aviva Ram. I'm going to put her name out there. I love her.
Yeah, she's good. I like Aviva too. I met her for the first time last summer at one of the herbal conferences. She's a little cutie. And I like her work. Okay, so coming up later in our show, we have a couple of rock stars of health. We've got Julie Fisher, who's an integrative nutrition health coach and founder of Healthy on Hudson right here in the New York area. And right after the break, we have Bree Argetsinger, and we're going to find out how to pronounce her name properly. And she is also called the Betty Rocker. She's an internationally known holistic health and fitness coach. She inspires women to grow, transform, evolve, thrive, and rock their life. She's the host of the world-famous 30-day Make Fat Cry home workout. And before we hop onto the break, I'd like to shout out another one of our awesome sponsors, Giovanni Eco Chic Cosmetics. Go to giovannicosmetics.com/HVR to get your downloadable $2 coupon. And now, after these messages, we'll be right back.
All clear.
Thank you.
Yep. Got about a minute and a half. Anytime for me.
Great. Is you bringing Bree on?
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're connected.
Hi.
Okay. Hey, ladies.
Hey, Bree.
Bree, we got to get your
How are
last
you
name
today?
correct. Can you say it for us?
It's Argetsinger. You said it almost perfectly. Just the G is not soft. It's hard.
A hard G, like a rock star.
That's
Arget.
right. Rock hard, baby.
You know it. Thanks so much for being
know
here.
it.
We are right now.
Rock
We are
hard like I
broadcasting
am.
live on the
Yeah.
Facebook feed. Just so you know, Bree.
What's that?
Right now, we are broadcasting. We're live streaming to Facebook, and we're doing that now, even though we're on a commercial break for the radio show. So we're still kind of live. So, hello, everybody.
Live. All right, no problem. Well, I'm disappointed that Lisa's not here. I got to tell you,
30 seconds.
I'm bummed, and I'm so glad to meet you guys. I'm just sad that I'm not getting to talk to her again.
She's in a hot tub right now, drinking champagne, having bubbly with the honey bunny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we should all
That's
just go
awesome.
visit her.
Well,
We're
That'd
all
be awesome.
doing the wrong
good
thing.
for her.
She's doing the right thing.
Oh, and also that's the 30-day Make Fat Cry challenge. You said home workout, but it's the home workout challenge, which I think is an important point. It's a challenge.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're getting ready to come back. Here we go.
You can find us at Voice America TRN. You're listening to Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Welcome back to Healthy View Radio. I'm Michelle Fennighaus, and I am here rocking out with Andrea Beeman, and it's just the two of us today while Lisa is off on a romantic getaway weekend that we all wish we were. Maybe we'll just pop in and join them as a surprise. I bet they'd really like that.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
And today we've been talking about rock stars of health. So the people who have inspired and made a huge impact in the field of health and wellness. And in just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to the Betty Rocker, health coach Bree Argetsinger. She's the host of the world famous 30-day Make Fat Cry home workout challenge. But first, let me tell you what's rocking in my world. So one of our sponsors, Four Sigmatic, makes these mushroom drinks like reishi hot cocoa, right? So they're introducing, I just found this out, they're introducing a Swiss water processed decaf mushroom coffee. If you ever drink decaf, you always want it to be Swiss water processed, okay? And I'm like a caffeine-free person, so I just ordered some. If you guys want in, you can head over to foursigmatic.com/HVR to save 15%. And now let's welcome Betty Rocker. Hi, Bree.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, so happy to have you here.
Great to be here.
Excellent. We know that you've got this Make Fat Cry challenge. I want to hear more about that. But first, we like to get to know you a little bit better and get a peek into your world. So tell us, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I love that question, and you asked it at the perfect time. I just had breakfast, and I've made what I'm calling the unicorn bowl. It's something I'm putting on my blog very soon. I've been taste testing it for a couple months, just perfecting it. But I basically do overnight oatmeal, which, the oats have been so sprouted or fermented. I noticed that you mentioned Sally Fallon as one of your rock stars of health. She's one of my personal rock stars as well, and I absolutely love her work. So it's great to hear you talking about her. But overnight oatmeal, so about a half a cup of that, a scoop of plant-based vanilla protein powder, about a third of a cup of unsweetened almond milk, and then I take a banana and I slice about a third of it into slices, and then I put the rest into the blender with the other ingredients, and then I just blend that, and it makes this delicious, creamy oatmeal. And then you take your remaining banana slices and you place them over the top, and maybe you want to slice up a strawberry. Today I had blueberries, and I just lined them up next to the bananas, and I put a little teaspoon of chia seeds down the other side. It was like this beautiful breakfast bowl, my unicorn bowl. You can vary it in lots of ways, but it was delicious.
And none of those bright colors that they put in the Starbucks, that unicorn drink? Not doing any of the food colorings.
Oh my gosh.
The Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
The Lucky Charms. Yeah, I want nature's Lucky Charms, because that's what this is. A very natural way to have the colors of the rainbow in your breakfast.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we're all going to hook that up tomorrow. I'll be lining up my blueberries. But now tell us this. Aside from the food and the great breakfast, what is one thing you do every day that has the greatest impact on your life?
I say gratitudes every single day. I've done this for a long time, but I never miss a day. In the morning, it's always in the morning and also in the evening. But in the morning, I just did it, so I was just thinking about it. And I actually just posted an Instagram story inviting people to send me their gratitudes, because something about gratitude that it is one of the highest frequency feeling states. Love is another one. Peace is another one. But gratitude is one that it helps interrupt the pattern. Say you're feeling stressed out, or you're having a tough day, or something just happened. The faster you can interrupt that negative pattern with gratitude, the faster you can get back into your personal power and feel like you're in control of the moment a little bit more. So practicing my gratitudes daily helps me strengthen that mental muscle, so that gratitude is really just at the forefront of my mind when I need it. And it really helps me. It's probably one of the things that has the biggest impact on my life, because your mental health, your mind, it really is the foundation of your life experience, the way that you interpret what's happening around you, and the way that you talk to yourself.
That's the truth, sister.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Well, today, Andrea and I, as you heard, we're talking about rock stars of health, people we've admired and been inspired by. So we already know you're on board with Sally Fallon. Who else have been some of your biggest inspirations?
You know, I gotta give a shout out, because I actually taught my live class. I do a live streaming home workout class every week, and last night I was just talking to my rock stars who show up, and our group is called Rock Your Life, because I really feel like, you know, these women in my group, they are my rock stars. Like, I am so inspired by them. Like, they are the people who, like you're talking about, are on the ground every day. They are the role models, their family members, to people in their community, just by the way that they're choosing to show up for themselves, to take the time for their health, they're just voracious learners. They want to learn more about their bodies. They want to learn more about their health, and they want to take action on it. And they support each other and learn from each other. And it's just an honor to be, you know, one of their coaches. So I would say that it's these people are one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to rock stars of health, because I think there's so many challenges every day, and so many things. There's so much information that comes at you. You mentioned earlier on the broadcast about how many opposing views there are out there in like just in the nutrition space. Mm-hmm. They're the same in the fitness space. There's the same in every space. And I feel like, you know, there's no one perfect way to be. There is what's right for you right now. And I think we want to empower people to find what's right for them and help them, you know, live their best life and rock their life. And those are my rock stars. They're awesome. My biggest rock stars, my biggest inspiration.
Well, you must have all these women coming into your group with different things they've tried before, right? Different diets, different fitness programs, and everyone's got something different that's going to work for them. But are there any health trends out there right now that you just legit do not agree with?
No, I don't disagree with anything specifically. I mean, the things I really disagree with they're not trends necessarily. It's just like shortcuts, like shortcut foods that are like sold under the guise of like this snack food is going to save you all this time. But actually it's got a ton of sugar, or something like, you know, we're all afraid of eating our fat. So we've got like these products that have the fat stripped out of them. And I mean, this is not news to us, but I feel like people still get sort of like swayed by, you know, the marketing on the packaging. It's interesting. You know, most of the food that we buy out there, like, well, that we have bought for years, has been made by companies who were not necessarily experts on nutrition or the body. They were experts on marketing. And so we have this plethora of products that are really well marketed, but aren't necessarily that good for us. And so I think that we're seeing a good trend of healthier products, brands and foods that are really transparent about their manufacturing, about what they're putting into their products, and using less things, less additives. And that's a trend that I really like out of the stuff that I dislike.
Yeah, that makes sense. And as a person who used to work in the food marketing industry and advertising, I'll take the hit. I know it's the wrong thing.
You son of a gun, Michelle.
I know. They are tricky behind the scenes, boy. I'll tell you about that one day. So, Bree, I saw somewhere that you've had over 1 million people sign up for your free home workout challenge. So can you tell us a little bit about that, and why are people so in love with it?
Yeah, we're almost at 2 million now in the last 2 years, which is insane. It's really amazing. And I started the current iteration of it has had almost 2 million people. I started doing those like 3 or 4 years ago on my Instagram. I would just, you know, would create them, and I would tell my Instagram fans to sign up for it, and they would do it. And what made them so accessible, and this is really like my approach when it comes to fitness and health in general, is how can I make you something that makes you excited to do it, is functional, works for your timeline, works for your life, and really gives you a great result in the shortest amount of time. And for me, that was the 15-minute workouts. And I set out to write, I was really busy. I set out to write myself a program for 30 days that went all around my body and would give me something to do every day for 15 minutes. And some of the days weren't hard workout days. They were literally gratitudes and sun salutations so that I could work on my mobility and my stretching, because we know muscle doesn't grow when we're training it. It grows when we rest it. And the other days were, I would just go all around the body. So we would have a full body day. There's the upper body, just abs, lower body. And I just found that to be so fun and so varied, and that I was excited to do it every day. And so were all of the people who were signing up for this challenge. And, you know, the Make Fat Cry was just a fun, catchy slogan that I adopted from Instagram and then trademarked. And really it's just the sort of the call to action of, you know, because when we have a sedentary lifestyle, it's really easy for our body to not be functioning optimally. And we all know toxins store in our fat cells, and, you know, it's just ideal to be able to get rid of some of that excess that kind of creeps up. And so this was a fun way to sort of, you know, say that and also put this into a 30-day program that people could do. So it's just been absolutely a blast to see how successful people are, how empowered they feel. I think probably the number one thing that I hear from people is, this is the first challenge I actually completed. I've signed up for so many online challenges, and yours is the first one I actually went all the way through. And the success stories that we hear every day, and just the joy that people have because they feel empowered to do something that doesn't take a lot of time. It has a, you know, functional component, of course, because I'm very intent on making sure that you aren't overdoing one body part area. And so many people sit all day for work. So there's quite a lot of strengthening for the antagonistic muscles that, you know, for our posture, for postural stability. So it's a really fun program, and you both should do it.
Well, you know, I was watching some of your videos that you got on YouTube there, and I do have a question. How do you do all those moves with all your long hair, not up in a ponytail? It looked magnificent to me. I don't know how you manage.
The question everyone asks. My hair is so like heavy so first of all, I take insanely good care of my hair. I use like really good, I have a satin pillowcase so the hair doesn't break when I'm sleeping. I use hair products. I use like velvet rollers when I'm styling it. But I also, because I don't want to break my hair, because it's so heavy now at this point, it's all natural and it's very long and it grows like crazy because I eat whole foods. It basically, I don't want to use any of those hair ties that have like metal or rubber bands in them. So I use cloth hair ties only. And because of that, when I'm jumping around, the hair just flies free. And that's when I know that like I'm in my workout zone, like I'm working hard, like the hair's down because it won't stay up. And so I just roll with it. You know, I just make it like another, you know how how does a horse run with its mane and tail, like waving, find a way to make it like move out of your way. Oh my gosh.
You work it out. And if a fly comes by, you just whip it out of your face.
Heck yeah. Hey, Bree, I have a question for you. Would your workout challenge, would that help me get to 50 push-ups? I have to get to 50 push-ups by my 50th birthday. So I have 2 months. I'm at 25 and I can't get beyond that. Say again?
Where are you at? 30? Did you say you're at 35?
No, I'm at 25.
You're at 25?
Yeah.
So are you doing them every day?
Maybe that's a problem. No,
you shouldn't. Don't do them every day. It's too much. You want to you want to rest your muscles in between. So I would suggest doing them 3 to 4 times a week, and try to do one more than you did the last time, and see how long you can do. Like every week, I want you to try to add like 3 to 4 push-ups to your repertoire, and then you'll get there. You'll totally get to 50. And one other thing that you can do when you're about to tap out, I want you to elevate your body onto the side of a chair and see how many more you can do.
Holy crap.
You're doing them down on the floor in a full plank, right?
Wow.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
Andrea, I know about this challenge you have, and I have a ways to go till I hit 50. So I thought I'd start now. Today at the gym, I did 5 push-ups. How's that? I'm getting there.
That's epic. That's epic. And if you're looking to build up 4 more push-ups, if anyone listening is looking to build up, I really recommend try to do a couple on the floor. If you can do 1, that's awesome. And then put your body against an elevated surface and do push-ups against the side of your couch with your hands on the side of the couch, and just work on building the strength. This is why I have modifications in all of my workout plans, and I'm always telling people are like, oh, I had to modify. And I'm like, no, it's good that be where your body is at, listen to your body, and, allow it to get stronger. This is you getting yourself stronger. It's also you preventing injuries, which are going to set you back, which we don't want at all. So it's a lot of just that empowered mindset of like, yes, I will listen to my body. I will get it stronger, and I'm going to go at the pace that, my body can take safely and with good form. But that's an awesome challenge. I'm so inspired by you. I'm 40, so I actually on New Year's Day I did 40 push-ups. And posted that on my Instagram. So I was like,
wow, that's awesome.
It's tough. It's hard. I don't know that I could bust out 40 today. I was building up to it also.
Oh, Andrea, this takes a lot of work. You better get down on the floor over there.
Hell yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Bree. Can you share your website? Tell everyone how they can sign up for your challenge, those who are listening.
Of course. My primary website is thebettyrocker.com. You can find the access link to the challenge right there. Of course, lots of healthy recipes, workouts you can do anywhere, and just motivation for your healthy lifestyle of awesome.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And stay on the line because I think Lisa called in. She's going to want to say hello to you during our break.
Awesome. Such a pleasure meeting you both.
You too.
Thanks, Bree.
Now, before we head into our break, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Zoller. You can save 35% on Zoller's vitamin D3 if you go to zollerd3.com and enter code HVRZD335. I'll just say that one more time because it's a long one, you guys. HVRZD335. And we're going to put that in the show notes at healthyviewradio.com. And we'll be back after the break with another rock star, Julie Fisher. We'll see you then.
All clear. All righty.
So where's that Lisa? She's playing hooky? Where is she?
Hey guys.
Hey Lisa.
What the hell are you doing?
I just got up to Vermont and I wanted to call and say hi to Bree. Hello.
She's still there?
We lost her? Oh, we killed her.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hey, Rod. Did you kill Bree?
No, she's there.
She is?
Bree, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
There you are.
Oh, hi, how are you? I'm so sorry I
Hey,
wasn't on the interview with you today.
That's okay. You have an amazing team, and we had a great chat, and I'm so glad I got the introduction to meet them. And sorry I missed you also, but it sounds like an important weekend.
It is. I just
We have
got up
40
to this
seconds.
very cool place up in Vermont, and I want you guys to know I'm in this challenge, whatever we're all doing. So
Push-up channel.
We're all going to pop into your hot tub. All right, Lisa. We heard you.
All right, you guys have a great day. Keep up the good work. It's a great show.
Have fun with your honey bunny.
Hey, guys.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
And Julie, are you on?
She is
Julie?
now. Julie, you there?
Yes.
All righty, you're connected.
Hey, Julie.
Hi.
You excited?
10
Yes,
seconds.
I'm a little nervous.
Good stuff. Hey, I'm going to be asking you a couple questions, and I designed them for you, so it'll be easy. Be a bunch of softballs. And
Here we go.
right, but it's a short segment. It's just 10 minutes, so keep the answers on the short side, and we'll get through everything. I want you to be able to give out your links.
I like it.
Okay, perfect. Are you?
All righty, everyone, here we go.
House with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
All right, welcome back to Healthy View Radio, where we were just talking about how many push-ups we can do. And so I'm saying, if you're on Facebook right now watching the live stream, tell us in the comments, how many push-ups could you get down on the floor and do right now? Andrea's up to 25. I can do 5. So who can beat that?
If you do 1, you're a rock star.
That's
1.
right. Our tech engineer over here says 58. Get out of here. 58. All right. So, hey, thanks to our sponsor, Atrantil, for digestive support. Unfortunately, not push-up support, but digestive support. Visit lovemytummy.com/HVR, and you guys can save 10%. So in addition to push-ups in this episode, we've been paying tribute to those who've inspired us and paved the way for greater health and happiness in the world. There are those gurus, the big gurus who've got the books and the shows, and then and all those famous faces. But what about the rock stars who are a little bit less known, maybe a little more local? Today, we've got Julie Fisher with us because Julie is making a big-time impact in Westchester, New York. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her. Julie Fisher is an integrative nutrition health coach and certified coach for the 21-day sugar detox. If you guys caught our interview with Diane Sanfilippo a few weeks ago, Diane created the 21-day sugar detox. So we got the whole kit and caboodle over here now. After being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2011, Julie learned that medication was not enough to improve the fatigue, numbness, and brain fog she was experiencing. By removing gluten and sugars from her diet, however, Julie found relief from her symptoms and migraines and improvement in her own health. And after that experience, she decided to shift careers and dedicate her life to helping others improve their own health. So Julie works with clients in her private practice, pretty much right down the road for me, Healthy on Hudson, located along the Hudson River in Westchester County. She specializes in autoimmune disease, migraines, inflammation, weight gain, and digestive issues. Julie also coaches groups on the 21-day sugar detox. And that's the program that started her own wellness journey and is a life-changing experience for those who participate. So, hey, Julie, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well, thanks.
Can you see the Hudson River out your window?
From my house, I can't, but from my office, I can. So
Excellent. I can see it too. Through the trees in the winter, I got the view over here. So I know you're right down the river for me. Tell us, today's been all about rock stars of health. Who's been one of your biggest influences in this field?
Well, definitely as far as from a health perspective, one of the people that kind of got me on my own path was Judy Graham, who wrote a book called Managing MS Naturally. And she, as well as Terry Walls, were kind of, for me, that first eye-opener that after my diagnosis, that anything actually related to food or stress or sleep or wellness could actually help what I was experiencing. So that was kind of, her book was really the one that set me on my journey of eliminating the foods that I did and kind of got me on that path.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you know the name of the book offhand so we can look it up and post a link maybe?
So it's by Judy Graham, and I think it's called Managing Multiple Sclerosis Naturally. Is
Awesome.
I think that's the exact name. And then, of course, Terry Walls, her book is called Walls Protocol. And both of them really kind of pioneered the concept of food as medicine when it comes to autoimmune disease, specifically MS. And they talk about eliminating gluten, eliminating grains, dairy, eggs, and certain other things, to anything that you would be sensitive to. So some of them say eggs are okay, some say they're not, but it's basically just kind of going on that concept that if you eat the right foods for your body and eliminate things that can cause inflammation, that you can actually find relief.
So that was sort of your beginning down this path. Now, do many of your clients come to you because they too have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease?
So I would say it's mixed. So yes, I do often see people that have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease and are kind of, perhaps their doctor says, oh, maybe think about eating less sugar. You might feel better, or maybe lose some weight and you might feel better, or they kind of give some vague dietary or movement recommendations. So I do get people from that perspective. Some people have been dealing with autoimmune disease for a really long time and not even necessarily realizing that the inflammation in their body is kind of what's keeping it going. So someone might come to me looking to lose weight, but they also already have some kind of autoimmune condition. So things may go hand in hand, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. So you get both kinds of people coming to you. And so a lot of times you're working with people around weight loss or sugar addiction, or certainly with the 21-day sugar detox. So tell us this, what is your take on sugar? Is it the devil that it's made out to be?
Great question. So, I think that from a perspective of right now, that's the buzzword, right? Right now, it's like, don't eat gluten, don't eat sugar. And that's kind of where the health arena is looking right now. But I do believe from my own experience and from what I see with my clients that sugar has some kind of control over us, not just from a mental perspective, like even a physiological addiction that we can develop to sugar. And it leaves us feeling, you're getting those high and lows, you're getting those crashes. I have so many clients that will come to me and say, I feel like I need to be eating all day because I get shaky or I get headaches. And so make sure you give me enough snacks. Everyone's looking for snacks to fill in between. And really, once you start eating real nutritious foods 3 times a day, and you can get away from all of that added refined sugar that so many of us are used to, you'll find your blood sugar really can even out, and you can make it from breakfast till lunch and from lunch until dinner. And that's probably one of the things my clients are most surprised about, and that even I was surprised about. I mean, I was a person, if I was shopping, I couldn't be in a fitting room without a Kind bar, shoved in my purse, because at any moment I could just get shaky and have to eat, where now it's completely not that way. So I think that sugar in and of itself, we're human beings, we need sugar to live, right? I mean, we do use sugar for energy in our bodies, but we can get our sugar from starchy vegetables and from fruits and from other natural sources versus having, all this refined sugar that's added into a lot of products.
Yeah, so I hope everyone listening heard that. It is entirely possible to go from breakfast to lunch to dinner and not have to snack in between. But then, oh my God, we're going to put the whole snack industry out of business.
Well, and even just redefining what a snack is, I mean, again, I have so many clients that get really stuck on reading labels, which of course is so important. And I do a lot of talking about labels, and I do supermarket trips and help people get educated about the packaged foods that they're buying. But even more importantly, buying the food that's not in the packages. So if you feel like you're hungry between breakfast and lunch, have something that would still look like a meal. Have an egg with some sauerkraut, or have a piece of sliced turkey with avocado or something like that, instead of reaching for what society tells us is a snack.
Well, would you consider like apples and fruit snacks?
Yes, absolutely. And some people can do better with fruits than others, right? So I have some clients who maybe eat a lot of dried fruit in the afternoon. That's kind of their go-to, but then they have trouble sleeping or they have headaches. So sometimes even fruit can be taken in excess. So, if you're having 2 or 3 servings of fruit per day, for most people, you have the fiber that's going along with it. And certainly there's plenty of nutrients in fruit. So I'm definitely not the fruit police, but I think that dried fruit for many people can become problematic, because if you can sit down and eat 12 dried apricots, and you would never eat that many apricots in one sitting regularly.
Fair point.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
I think,
Julie, you've
certainly
got
an apple or banana or kiwi or things like that. I love to make a half a broiled grapefruit with some cinnamon on top. Ooh. And cardamom is really yummy.
Wow. Broiled grapefruit? Yeah. I've never heard of that.
You've never done that?
No.
It's sort of, I think it was inspired, the paleo mom, who's Sarah Ballantyne, who's another really kind of superstar in the paleo autoimmune arena. I think it was something from one of her books that, you just take a grapefruit, cut it in half, and sprinkle a little cinnamon or I like to do mine with a little cardamom too on top, and then just put it under the broiler for about, 5 minutes until it looks a little slightly caramelized, and it's really yummy.
And then you pour like a whole lot of honey on top, I think. That's so that.
Mm.
All right.
Honestly,
So maybe I need
try it, and it
detox.
becomes sweeter than you would expect.
You've got one detox happening this January. Is that right?
Yes. The January program will officially kick off on January 15th, but I always start my group a week ahead because I'm firmly a believer in planning. So if there's nothing else that I do with my groups and with all of my clients, it's making sure that you plan, you make a meal plan, you shop to your list so that you have the foods in your house that you want to be eating, because otherwise it becomes really tricky to stay with any kind of program, whether it's something as extreme like a sugar detox, or if it's just your own healthy living plan. If the food's not there, it's far less likely that you're going to eat it.
So when you run this group, is that just for people who live in Westchester County, or is it open to everyone?
Nope, I do the group on Facebook, actually. So I have had group members spanning from right here in where I live in Westchester all the way. I had a member in Ireland once, so you can really join from wherever you are. The kind of most of the action happens on Facebook, but for people that are in extremely different time zones, then you kind of follow through the Zoom. I do conference calls 4 times during the program. So once to get everybody set and ready, and then once each week to kind of keep us going. And then, of course, the last session is really about what to do beyond the detox. So now the detox is ending, and what happens now. And so, yeah, it's nice because you don't have to physically leave your house to be able to be a part of the support of the group and get the inspiration and really, make this commitment to improving your health.
Awesome. Well, Julie, can you tell everyone where they can find you? And I know you've got a free gift for our listeners. So just real quick, give us the URL for that.
Yeah, so I'm running a free veggie challenge starting this weekend, where if your listeners want to go to healthyonhudson.com/veggies, they can go ahead and download my super simple and delicious veggie. It's a little recipe guide that, again, people get really hung up on labels, and I find some people that don't even know what squash looks like in the supermarket. So it's going to be 5 days of really simple vegetable preparation, some emails telling you about how to find good vegetables and how to cook them, and it'll be a lot of fun. So it's healthyonhudson.com/veggies, VEGGIES.
Thanks so much for being here, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Andrea.
So, speaking of rock stars, how about those vegetables?
Yeah, how about that grapefruit?
How about that grapefruit? I'm going to try that one, actually. There's a lot of things that we could consider rock star like, like just changing your diet and your lifestyle, or your mindset, like what Bree talked about before, starting the day with this gratitude. That can put you into that rock star, let's make this the best life ever category. What do you think about something like that?
Every day we have these opportunities to, I would say, own our life, own the decisions that we're making, take responsibility for ourselves. None of those rock stars you see on stage, I'm talking like music stars, got there by accident. They made sacrifices. They really, it's hard. It's hard to get ahead in an industry like that. And it's hard to show up in your life and sometimes make decisions that go against the grain. So I think if you can do that, that's when you start getting that rock star status, in my mind.
Yeah, well, like, what was that old joke years ago? Like, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And they'd say, practice, practice, practice.
That's right.
Right? So showing up every day is a practice. It really is a practice. And it can make you what you want, like it can give you what you want, but you got to show up. You got to show up for yourself first and foremost is what I think. Like a lot of people will say, well, I got to show up for my husband and my kids and my this. Number one, you got to show up for yourself, and then you can show up for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to flip that hierarchy. You're on top.
That's right.
Comes after that.
Like the cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah. The sugar-free sundae, Julie, okay? So we have show notes from this episode that are going to be posted to healthyviewradio.com/10 because it's our 10th episode. You guys can find all the links, all the people we talked about today. If you want to check them out and get some inspiration, we'll link them all up over there. And if you guys would please head on over to healthyviewradio.com/review and leave us an iTunes review. You can do that from your computer or phone. It'll take you directly to the review page. That would make you a rock star in our eyes.
Yeah, rock that review.
Thank you so much for that in advance. And thank you for listening and watching today. We will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
All clear.
Thanks, A-Rod.
Yep. All righty. Well, hey, I'll talk to you girls next week.
Oh, and listen, for next week, if you can,